Okay, I decided I wanted to have a little bit of fun today, so we're going to do a little tarot read and see what the energies are for today. Just going to do a quick shuffle. Sorry, I shuffled off camera. I can shuffle on camera too. Just doing a quick shuffle. I am using the Dark Goddess Oracle deck by Caitlin McCarthy. It is one of my favorite decks. I'm going to use a few. I have a particular way of doing readings that works for me, and so I am going to show you how I do readings for myself by doing a collective reading here, and we'll just get the energies of the evening. I think I'm going to move my mouse out of the way. My favorite little thing, my little white rabbit mouse. Anyway, all right. So what I want to look at today is kind of what energies are approaching the collective. I'm going to start by asking the goddess which goddess is around us and guiding us, because that is going to give kind of an overall theme of what we may be experiencing internally. Then I am going to ask an astro deck, which I use to determine the current of the energy that I am going to be drifting through. So the Dark Goddess kind of represents my energetic theme, then an astro deck for the currents around me, and then I use an elemental deck for the ground where that current is formed upon. And then I use a couple of other decks to kind of determine the energies of people around me and the roles that they might play. So we're going to start with the Dark Goddess. And what is the energy around the collective right now? Who is walking with the collective? Who is guiding the collective in their energies? Oh, that one right there. So we have Skady. And Skady is a Scandinavian, from the Scandinavian mythology. She's a giantess, I believe, but she is the energies of Wild Heart, right? Wild Heart. So that energy for me is telling us that we need to tap into our heart, into our authenticity, sorry, I'm putting the deck away and I can't talk and do things at the same time. I can't think and do things at the same time. So Skady, the giantess, and the Wild Heart is talking about being able to embrace our femininity and our masculinity, right? It is touching into those parts of us that are authentic. This isn't about the gender, so you can look at it as that, because most people view kind of the heart center as the feminine energies that we push down and tend to ignore. Like we don't prioritize the receiving energies and the resting energies because we have been pushed into production and being producers. But Wild Heart could be a masculine or a feminine that just needs to tap into their authentic truth, to what is real for them in their experience, what meaning is being created, and whether they are the ones creating or they are allowing others to make the meaning for them. So now I'm going to pull out the astrology deck. So if we're tapping into our authentic, wild truth, our natures and our centers, what our soul and spirit was sent here to do, what current is that energy flowing through? So I imagine the goddess and the energies of the goddess being us and kind of being on a boat. Because we're on Earth, we're drifting through these astrological currents. They are shaping our experiences here, so we kind of are. So us and the goddess are on a boat, and this is the current around us that is directing kind of like the winds of our sails. So what currents? And we have Jupiter. Ideals and magnitude. So value center, wild heart. I have seen a repeated theme in the collective about learning to understand that standing in the truth is having a real clear grasp of what your values and your principles are, and learning how to live by them. And Jupiter really calls us into looking at what drives us and motivates us, what makes us feel expansive, what lights us up, ignites us, what pushes us forward, and then determining, again, just like with Skady in the wild heart, is that truth coming from within us, or is that something from without us, from other sources from us, right? Like, is this conditioning, programming, or are we living in line with our true nature and pursuing things that inspire us, that encourage us, that empower us to live to our greatest good and highest potential? Okay. And that deck was from the Astro deck by Oracle Cards by Tanya Brock. And now for the ground that we walk upon, I am using this Elemental deck by Stacy DeMarco. So for this one, I kind of view this as we are on the planet. The planet has energies of its own. This is going to be like, this can include things like the social climate around us, the communities that we are in, the actual land that we are standing on. So this is going to be where that astrological river meets the land and is help guiding our sacred wild heart on its journey. So what is the land? Okay, 2 came out, and they are home and earth and purity and ice. So for me, when I look at these cards, first off, I see a woman with her arms up in a boundary, kind of turning her back to other things in the world. Both of these cards have an element of turning their back, of withdrawing, right? Paying attention to the inner environment, your home environment, right? And to me, that is pointing back to those ideals and those values. The heart, I was looking at the camera, not at the table, so I was pointing in weird places there for a minute. The heart is our internal environment, right? That is our home. That is where all our ideals and our magnitude come from. So being able to tap into that, and this is what our isolation and the purity and ice is kind of an isolation. It is that stagnancy, that feeling almost pent up, like something is about to break through. And we just entered the fire horse year, and here is the horse on the ice. And this ice doesn't look very thick. If that horse comes charging across there, he's likely to break her out of there, right? But she has been put into this chamber, this isolation, this cocoon, in order to separate her, shelter her. Like snow in an igloo is actually insulating and helps keep things warm. So, a protective layer. While this momentum builds to kind of isolate and purify from what is going on, right? Because the energies of the heart and this Jupiter energy of expansion and magnitude want to come from a place where the heart and the ideals and the values are really rooted in self and what motivates and drives you, what you define, right? You define yourself. You define the world as you want to see it. But in order to know, because we are facing a lot of really big challenges in society. And if you aren't clear on what are your values, that's how you get swept away with a tide and an impulse and into decisions and situations that weren't yours in the first place. So Jupiter and Skady are kind of looking into these, pulling us into these energies of home, safety, security, stability, where we can stand on our own and in our own truth. Let's take a look at, and I think I paused for a minute and that felt like an awkward cutoff, but I feel like that was the whole point in that message. So, which is why the thoughts just cut off. So I have pulled out the Citadel deck. I want to know what role we are being asked to play in the energies around us. I'm going to shuffle off to the side over here just so I don't blow the cards around. It's kind of an awkward position for me, and I also don't want to make a whole lot of noise on the table right next to the camera or shake it either as much as possible. All right. What role will we be playing in these energies? Okay, and we have the patron. Which is about mentorship and finances. Give me just a second. I'm just putting this deck to the side so that I'm not having things in the way while I'm reading. Okay, here we have the patron. Now this is our role in these energies, right? So we are looking at our home, our finances. Most of us are being called into some sort of purpose, some sort of new goal for ourselves in expressing, which does mean we need to be preparing by looking at our structures, our stabilities, our internal systems that are going to support us as we move forward into these opportunities of service, of expressing ourselves, of being able to be support and nurturing for others. And that is our gift of generosity. And so really kind of going inward and making sure that we are feeling secure and stable in how we are managing our finances and preparing ourselves for the gift that we are going to be spreading out into the world with others. Let's see, and this one is fun for me. How are these energies going to feel? How will they present themselves? What character will they hold for us? And this is kind of like what energies do we want to be in as this patron, right? And this is fun for me. I have a biology background, so this is the most powerful deck for me. It's the one I'm most familiar with, because as an empath, I understand it. And it is the Animal Spirit Oracle by Kim Krause from the Wild Unknown series that she has. They're really, really good decks. So the energies that we are to be in, that is too many. It was a bad hand. There's one. All right. Yeah, and it really is what I was thinking. Here we have the vulture. The vulture is feminine energy. There's a South American, I believe, prophecy about the eagle and the condor. So vulture is a cleansing energy, and it really is coming down to what I was talking about the mentorship and the finances and being in this state of separation and isolation in order to achieve some purity that is an understanding of our values and our ideals, because we are getting called to go out and express ourselves in the world, to expand. Jupiter wants to expand. So we are currently in these isolation energies in order to work on these, what isn't working and what we need in order to increase our own stability, and what structures really need to be solidified, what will stand and what needs to be repaired or replaced. And that is what the vulture energy is. So you'll feel that as kind of a cleansing or a purging. Vulture energy isn't always the most comfortable energy, but know that any conflict or challenge or loss, inside we know it was something that needed to go anyway. It's an attachment that we were holding on to because it served an aspect of ourselves in the past, but it is not something that we need to hold on to anymore. And the vulture energy is here to remove it, because if we cannot remove it, the vulture energy, once it removes it, is going to take us into the otter energy. And this is the play energy, right? The otter energy, otters are also scavengers to some degree too. So whatever is left, they're going to take and play, right? They are river guardians. They are also very, very aggressive and territorial. And, you know, the Amazon river otters are powerful creatures. They'll take down the reptilian species there. Which crocodile species is it there? The caiman, I believe. I could be wrong. But anyway, this is the vulture energy is clearing all of that detritus and that debris, that scaffolding that isn't working, so that we can come out of this in our playful energy, right? To set our wild hearts out into the world, to expand our ideas and carry our soul signature forward, right? Because we are source here to have experience. Source in form wants to play and wants to create and wants to discover the power, the pride, the humanity of overcoming even the struggles. So even our struggles are an opportunity to discover and learn what we really had inside of us all along. And that is what these energies are building to. And they're about to break out. I want to point out again, we have the horse here. This horse is not sitting still. We are right at that point where this energy is about to break through. That vulture just has to tap on that ice a little bit, and that horse standing on it is breaking through. So none of this, Jupiter will not be contained by this. None of these energies are really sit down and hang on energies. It's about to move. It is about to go. This otter he's not going to sit still. This is not sitting still energy. That horse in that card is not sitting still. You're about to break through. That vulture is just going to pick off one more thing. You've got one more little step before that's all going to break, and you are going to be on your way.